Hey, you guys, I am back. Um, so I'm just finishing up these earrings right here. Um, I seen the Risa Tisa movie today, so let's talk about it. I didn't. So honestly, I didn't. This is gonna be like just my opinion on the movie. I heard that on social media, like on TikTok, that the movie is spot on to the actual series. I didn't watch the series. I think I watched up to chapter 24. But I was like, I'm gonna wait till the movie comes out. But I just might go back and listen to all 50 chapters to see if there is any, like, you know, resemblance between the movie and the actual series. Because I know that they probably like left some parts out and stuff like that. So that's why I'm making a disclaimer right now that this is only my opinion on just the movie alone. It might take me a couple of days to watch all 50 chapters. Um, so because I did start my work week, so it might take me a while. But anyway, so let me start off by saying that the flags were always red. They were never pink. They were never like in between. They were never light pink. They were always red. Always. Okay. So, the parking lot scene. They first meet up at the parking lot. She's like, "Girl, I hope he looks like his pictures and stuff like that." Whoop, whoop, wop. And so he pulls up with some flowers. Not pulls up, but like walks up, right, with some flowers, and they greet each other. "Oh, damn, you look fine," or whatever. Blah 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 blah. Anyway, sitting in the car for the date, right? She's like, she's like, "This is the most romantic date I ever been on," and I'm thinking, like, girl, eating cheesecake in a car. But okay, no judgment there. To each his own. To each his own, right? So they start talking. They start chopping it up. He tells her that his father was a pastor, or is a pastor, was or is, I'm not sure, but either way, that makes him a PK kid. So um so then she addresses his two dating profiles. She's like, "I think I found the one, and we can delete our dating profiles and stuff like that, and whoop whoop wop." And he's like, "Well, I already deleted mine." So then she calls him out for having two, not one, but two, right? So red flag number one. Anyway, so she calls him out for having two profiles, and she's like, "Well, which one?" or something like that, something to the event of that or whatever. Because she's like, "You have two profiles, and they're under, and you have one under a different name, and then you have like different pictures and stuff, and then you have one of this, and then I don't, how do I even know that Xavier's your real name and stuff like that." And then she calls him Legion. So Legion means a large group. It may mean many in quotations, many, right? So he's like all confused and stuff. He's like, "Legion?" And she says like, "Oh, how are you, a preacher's kid, and you don't know what Legion is?" So that's red flag number one. He lied basically because he doesn't know what a Legion is. But okay, small minuscule lie. Let's move on. Maybe he forgot. Maybe COVID hit, right? There was a discussion of whose house were they gonna quarantine in. So Legion, Xavier, he says that he mentions his place and like, oh, I got a studio, whatever, we'll do what you can quarantine there, whatever. And she's like, no, I feel more comfortable quarantining at my place because it's bigger or whatever. So they end up quarantining at his place. So and I felt like that throughout this whole thing, Xavier was love bombing Ressa with money, with saying, "Oh, I'll do this, I'll get this for you, I'll do that for you," just to shut her mouth. And you're gonna find out my reasoning for that as my explanation and my opinion goes on. So he moves in. He's talking about, oh, I'll pay the bills, I'll pay this and this and that, all the electricity, all of this, all of that Wi-Fi, everything. I'll pay the rent and stuff like that, right? I don't like a showboater. Like, I feel like that you're compensating for something, like you're hiding something. They agree to move in with each other, and here goes the lies immediately. Every time, it was so funny. Every time he raised the Powerade, I knew that some lies was coming. He was like, so he showed her what he has in the bank, talking about he has offshore accounts that he put down the offer on the house, and he showed them the proof of funds already. Is this thing going through? He showed them the proof of funds on the house already, and they were just waiting to, I guess, close the deal. So then, like, stuff keeps happening, it keeps on falling through. That would have been a definite red flag for me when he didn't want the realtor speaking to Ressa. But anyway, so I guess that brushes over her shoulder and stuff like that, and he's yelling at the realtor and calls him up, whatever, yada yada yada. And then he's like, "Oh, we're gonna go shopping. We're gonna go shopping for, furniture and stuff like that for the new house." But while she's shopping, right? And this would have stopped me dead in my tracks. Like, because I know you didn't make me waste my good gas money and stuff like that by getting in this car, going basically window shopping because you want me to have the experience. First of all, what experience? What experience am I getting? Wasting my gas? Wasting my time? Wasting an outfit because I got dressed to go to the store? And you're going to tell me, oh, but we're going to purchase everything online. Okay, so why the fuck are we here? Like, why the hell are we here? Like, what? Like, why did I waste my time getting dressed and stuff like that to go window shopping? It just doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any type of sense to me. But anyway, they're at the store and they're looking around and stuff like that. And he's like, "Oh, I just want you to have the experience of shopping, in a, well, looking in a store, but we're gonna buy everything online." So she's like, "Yeah, that's cool. That's cool." I just think like, I'm not bashing her at all, but I just think a lot of stuff was overlooked because he was like, "Oh, I'm gonna pay for everything. Oh, I got you at the end of the day. Um, oh, I'll pay the bills and stuff like that." So I think a lot of stuff was overlooked because he was fronting that money up front. He made it clear up front, like, "Oh, I can pay the bills and stuff like that, or I can take care of house and home, and I could do this." And it doesn't, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what type of lies that I tell and stuff like that, and what type of flag on the plays that I throw and stuff, because you're still gonna, at the end of the day, you're still gonna believe me, and you're still gonna believe my lies. Um, So the lies kept on continuing. After this situation, after he talks to the realtor and stuff like that, or after they go through the house debacle and stuff like that, so he tries to deflect. He tries to deflect and distract her from thinking about the house, and going straight for purchasing a car. So they go like these. I like these. They're cute. They're like very springtimey. I'm tired of this gloomy weather outside. I need spring. I need sun. I need to bask out in the sun. These are giving me Malibu vibes. These are giving me bikini on the yacht. That's what I forgot to mention. So back to when she found out about the house, because she called, I guess, the realtor that was in charge of the listing, that she seen online, and he verified that the house has been sold, and it is sold to another couple, yada yada yada. And then herein comes Xavier. And then he's talking out the side of his neck again. And she's like, and so she's talking about the house again. And he's like, "Oh, the interest rates are so high, and I just feel like backing out because it's a lot at the end of the day." And she's like, "Yeah, well, I mean, if you have to pull out," then, and he was like, "Yeah, well, I'm gonna call my guy and I'm gonna pull out and get my money back." Bam. There she knows that he is an absolute liar. And these power aids is killing me. Like, what is in this juice? He just keeps on, "Sir, you need to drink some water. You need to drink some water. There's a lot of sodium and power aids." You mess up your insides. I don't think that power aid is supposed to be drank like that. Like, this dude from the very beginning, he was like, it was so funny, like when they were in the parking lot when they first met, he was like, he had a full bottle of power aid, and he was like, "Oh, I'm gonna go in the store and I'm gonna get me another power aid. I'm gonna get me some more power aid, and then I'm gonna come out and help you." Zoom in, he has like about two half empty bottles of Powerade with one full one. And I'm like, "Why is you drinking so much Powerade?" Sir, what? Why are you drinking so much Powerade, my guy? Why?
I don't know what you're saying.
Oh yeah, so when he gets called out with the house and stuff, not called out because he still doesn't know that Risa knows that he been lying the whole time. He pulls out a ring, and this is where I would have this is where I would have like turned shit over, okay? Like he takes the ring out his pocket and puts it on the table like that. And then she's like, "What is that?" And he's like, "You gonna be my wife." First of all, no, sir. That is not how you're going to ask me, okay? You're going to take me out to Chili's, Cheesecake Factory. You're going to take me out somewhere. You're going to take me out to dinner. You're going to do something. Like what? You just took a ring out your pocket. You're going to be my wife. No, sir. He got the call from his brother. First of all, okay, so she winds up pregnant, and then she ends up losing the baby, having a miscarriage, and this would have been my breaking point. He left her and went to a business meeting while she was at the hospital for 4 hours, several hours waiting for him. So yeah, that would have been my breaking point. And then he knows that that's something that's bothering her. And instead of, I'm sorry, yada, 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 stuff like that, he deflects once again. And then his grandmother dies. And then they wind up at the cemetery, and they're like standing far away from the tombstone. Like the tombstone is way over there. I know you can't see it, but on the other side of the room to me. And then they're standing like right here. And then he's like, "Oh yeah, we buried my grandmother like over there." And she's like, "Oh, that's a nice tombstone. It's nice and big." First of all, why can't y'all walk up to the tombstone and see the person's name on it? Like, why can't y'all walk up to the tombstone? But, that's neither here nor there. And then he gets a phone call from his ex-wife. And she tells him that his stepdaughter died. So earlier on, when they had met and they were having that romantic outing and first date in the car eating cheesecake, he told her that he doesn't even talk to his ex-wife anymore. Red flag number 1,000,000, right? 1,000,000, because there you go, you lied again, because you said that you don't talk to your ex-wife, but she's calling you and telling you that your stepdaughter passed. So yeah, and then that's when he knows that she's getting a little bit suspicious. The Reese is getting a little bit suspicious, and they wind up at the car dealership. So at the car dealership, they're looking at cars and stuff like that. She's test driving like a lot of cars, and she's like, "Yeah, this is a good car." And he's like, "No, I could do better. So he gets on the phone with one of his colleagues or his homeboy, or I don't know, some type of invisible Joe, that tells him that he can get like a blue BMW with cognac interior and stuff like that for Risa. And he's gonna get it delivered at the house. And then after that, he drives her to his work site and shows her where he works. And she's like, "Oh, she's like, "Oh, where do you guys keep the company car and stuff like that? You said that you have the company car, or where do you guys keep the company car?" And then he's like, "Oh, we have a garage on site, and we keep it in, I guess the back or something." And then she's like, "Oh, well, I would love to see where you work." So he calls the security guard that's supposed to buzz him in. But then the security guard says that he's gonna buzz him in, then he has an emergency and with his daughter and has to rush home to his daughter. So she's like, it's always something. Then that's when she's getting a little suspicious and he knows that. So he's like, yeah, let me call my homeboy. So he calls the other guy that he's supposedly supposed to work with, and talks to him about like, hey, can you buzz me in and stuff like that, yada yada yada. And then he's like, oh, I'm not even on site. And so they don't end up touring the facility. So she's suspicious and he knows it. So that's when he tries to surprise her by putting an intentional envelope by the door. And she goes to look in it, and it's some tickets to Paris, because he knows that he needs to deflect before she starts asking questions. So he leaves his phone downstairs. I guess this is his phone. He leaves his phone downstairs, and she sees a whole bunch of like transactions, like a whole bunch of $60 and $40 transactions and stuff like that. And then she confronts him about it, like, are you tricking? Are you tricking? Now she's asking questions when she should have been asking questions from the gate. But she sees all these transactions, and then she decides to confront him in the bathroom and stuff like that. I'm talking about where all these transactions. He tries to lie again. His mouth is full of toothpaste because he's brushing his teeth. But he has this good old Powerade next to him. And I'm like, he ain't gonna drink that because his mouth is full of toothpaste. Nope. He rinses his mouth out with Powerade. Like, what is with the Powerade, sir? Like, what is with the Powerade? After he gets busted with the whole Paris thing and the whole deposits and stuff like that, then here he goes deflecting. He has no money to fall back on right now. He has no money excuses to fall back on right now, so he's using a different tactic to deflect, and that is an injury, saying that he hurt his knee. The pain medication winds up missing, and yeah. And so Ressa comes home and she's like, you never went to Morehouse, right? And he's like, what are you talking about? I've been to Morehouse and stuff like that. And she's like, I pulled your social security number and I called Morehouse, and they told me that they have no records of you. And then he starts rolling his eyes, and then here comes the lies. So she's like, you know what? I had enough. I want you out. So then he gets on the phone with his auntie and starts some stuff by saying that she's lying and stuff like that. And she's like, what you say? That's when she gets real, like, is when he tells his auntie that she's lying. And this is when he's on the phone with a real person, because obviously she takes the phone and she's talking to somebody. So apparently this is a real person that he's on the phone with now. Good for you, Mr. Xavier, Legion, Tyrone, whatever you choose that your name wants to be today. So then she finds then she sees the Powerade bottles on the dresser with piss in them. Oh my gosh. And he's like, my knee hurts, my leg hurts. You mean to tell me, sir, that you can't get up and go to the bathroom at least? You can't limp to go up to the bathroom? Like what? You have to walk over to grab one of the empty bottles and, you know, pee in it. But she puts him out, and that is, and the lies continue. Well, he tries to, he feels, he signs the divorce papers, that she hands him. And she's like, do you want to read it first and stuff like that? He says no. And then they go their separate ways. And then he's talking to this girl, where we find out that she was a, a, a friend of the family or something. But his family don't talk to her because she's messy, she's a stripper, she's this and this and that or whatever. Um and then she's like, oh, you have rights to the house and stuff like that, like gassing up this man, because of course she wants this bum off of her couch, and I don't blame her. So so she's gassing this man's head up, talking about, oh, you have rights to the house just as much as she does, boop, 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 yada, yada, yada. However, he did not read the divorce papers that said in them that he has no rights to anything in the house. Like, he's relinquishing everything in the house. So he winds up at the end getting locked up and stuff like that, because he has warrants. He's not only trespassing, but he has warrants for his arrest, because he has done credit card scams or attempted credit card scams before. So they wind up arresting him and stuff like that. And he's like, you gonna take my Powerade? You gonna take my Powerade? I'm like, this man just loves his Powerade. Like, what the heck? And then the story ends, right? Oh, well, then we find out, well, before that, she talks to his brother, and his brother tells her that he's schizophrenic and stuff like that. And she's like, he's been having conversations every morning about what I thought was you. And then turns out that he wasn't talking to nobody. Okay. And then the divorce happens, and then the papers are signed, and he's taken away in the police car. The end of that story. Now, I don't know how much of this story in this movie was absolutely true. Like I said in the beginning, I only watched up to chapter 24 of this story, and I was like literally in and out, in and out, in and out of it. Like, I was paying attention, but then I wasn't, but then I was paying attention again, then I wasn't. So I'm gonna go back and watch the whole thing again. But to me it just seems like she was really love bombed, and she was really, and money was a distraction in this whole thing. Like, he knew that at the end of the day, all he had to say was, oh, I'm going to yada boop 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 dot dot dot, and then she'll move on to the next, right? Like, he got a hook, line, and sinker in the beginning when he said that, he would be paying all her bills, and he would be taking control of the bills. So that's where he got her then. So then that's when he knew that he can distract her from by saying that I'll pay for stuff, you know. I'll pay for this, I'll pay for that. Like um the when stuff went through with the house and stuff like that. And then he let her down by her being in the hospital by herself and stuff like that. He tried to distract her by taking her to the car lot. And then when that fell through or whatever, and when it was like, I don't know how long the time span was, but I'm pretty sure that it was a long time, and the gap in between the whole Paris ticket purchasing, or the staging of the Paris ticket purchasing, from when he promised her the BMW to be delivered to the house, because she was like in the bathroom and she was like, what is this, after she found out all the deposits. And then she was like, I still don't have my car. Well, I don't have my house. And I find out that you're out here tricking. So, I mean, I don't know. Just and this is just a word of advice for everybody out there. Don't be fooled by the money. Do not be fooled by the money at all. Don't be fooled by don't just settle for something because you don't want to be alone, or you see the glitz and glamour, or you see the things are being paid for it, and you don't have to handle it no more. um and you don't have to handle, paying for stuff anymore because someone else is paying for it. Don't just settle because they're throwing the money at you and stuff like that, because um yeah, like my brother tells me, don't give nobody the keys to your car to drive you crazy. And when he told me that, I was like, whoa, whoa, big brother. Big brother. That's a good one. I'm going to use that. I'm going to use that one, because she was definitely going crazy to find out this man was just playing her and just lying to her the entire time. The entire time. Like, I feel bad at the situation and stuff like that. Like I said, it will probably take me like a couple of days to watch the actual Risa Tisa saga or whatever. I have to find the one on YouTube, the 50 part on YouTube, and just watch that. But I will come back with that review too. And I'll watch the Risa Tisa movie over again too, so I can, refresh my mind before I do like my final observation on the thing. But to me, the whole thing could have been prevented from the jump start. The whole kit and caboodle thing could have been avoided from the gate if the antennas would have been working and up there. My hand keeps on itching at the top. I don't know why. Ooh, I gotta go to the store and get me a scratch off. Is that what that means? Last time my hand was itching, I went to the gas station and got me a scratch off, And don't you know that I want $50? No, $75. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, too bad I don't feel like driving tonight though. Hopefully my hand will be itching tomorrow when I actually feel like driving. Maybe. I don't know. But anyway, I'm going to end this video because this is going to be really long and it's going to take me forever to edit. And besides, I got to finish these earrings. I don't know if I like this yellow around here. I might repaint this. But I will show you guys these earrings in the next video.